Whoa, my hair looks great. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Appreciate you guys showing up. We are starting. I do appreciate how I only see foreheads. That's pretty cool. Everyone puts their camera to the ceiling. Hopefully you guys have uh, take care of you guys' ceiling. All right, all right. Appreciate you guys. Bojo had an emergency. So he is not here to teach you the class, so I am subbing in for him. I'm sure I cannot replace him. He's a great dude, very intelligent, but I'll try my best to relay the information that you guys need so you guys could take care of your workbooks and move from there. But we'll give a little time to little setup and get going. So just give us a little bit more time and we'll get it popping. All
Right.
right.
While we are waiting for everyone, Pablo, I just want to take the time to remind everyone to please turn on your cameras at all times and also complete your complete name rather, so that we can track your attendance accurately. And if you have any issues with your camera or audio, just please message YC staff Will so she can take note of it for your attendance. And if you are an alumni or student leader, kindly also put alumni or SL so we can tag you accordingly. And I'm gonna pass it back to Pablo. Thank you.
All right. How many people are in this class, Chris? Because I see
Well,
6, 7,
how much
eight,
is the
9.
total number again, Will?
Yeah, we have 26.
All right, we got 9 people out of 26. We're doing it big. Appreciate you guys showing up, the ones who did, so we get a little bit more time. What? I got a chance to meet Maximiliano, the one and truly. That's cool, man. It's good to see you again. Hopefully, some of you guys are going to be taking advantage of the field trip because that does interlinked with everything that we're talking about because we're talking about a lot about finances and stuff like that. So we are good. I appreciate even Destiny Aguirre coming from the bus or the back of the car. She's doing it. Appreciate you. And Maximiliano has it mute while he's arguing with his family. That's player. All right, let's go. And then Daniel Santana, are you all right? You look like if you're in danger, put a signal so we could help you out if you're in danger. The alumni, Emma Ramos, are you in a closet? If not, if you need help, let us know. Just put an emoji. We will. Youth Champions does work with the United States government to help you guys, so we appreciate you guys. All right, so looks like we're missing half the class, but I'm sure it's not Bojo's fault. He tries his best, but let's get it popping. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with the boring stuff first. So, Chris, could you give the announcements, please?
Oh yeah, so for those who were not here yet, so I just wanted to remind you all to please turn on your cameras and display your complete name so we can track your attendance. And if you have camera or audio issues, please send a message to Will. She's handling the attendance today. And if you're an alumni or SL, so just kindly put alumni or SL so we can tag you accordingly and enjoy the workshop today. Thank you.
All right. And again, this is level one, so we're going to be a lot of rudimentary stuff. We're talking about different finances stuff, taxes and stuff where we go on that. So obviously if you guys have any questions, please let us know. A couple of you guys are watching YouTube videos on the side. At least put aside here so you could do the workbook. And remember, this is an internship. And who's doing the attendance? Will is doing the attendance. She never turns off her camera because she's usually the craziest one that she takes track of everything you do, and she relays it to the president of Youth Champions. So I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you guys. That's why Will doesn't turn on a camera. She wants to be anonymous. But as we go, just give me a second because I start my classes with the emotions wheel. The emotions wheel is how are you doing right now? That's why I start with it. And the only thing I want here is your blunt honesty. I don't care about what's going on, but once you start understanding your emotions, you understand how you feel. So if I give you an honest answer, I'm a little bit, let's see, unfocused because I jumped on here this. A little bit tired, but I'm happy overall. That would be mine. So start one from the outside, one in the middle, and one in the center. So you could give me your three emotions. And if you want a little level of privacy, you could send it to me directly, and that way you want. But all I expect here is honesty. Be real. In a world filled with a bunch of social media fakeness, being real is the last honorable thing. So pick your three emotions. The ones you guys are on computer, it's a little easier. Once you guys are on phones, you got to zoom in and stuff. And all you guys got like the iPhone 20 anyways. I don't know how. All right, Maximiliano, appreciate your enthusiasm. That's cool. All right, I got 1 out of 12 people. All right, I appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone. All right. All right. Miss Hazel coming in the class like she's at the club, blowing it up. So we have two, three, four. All right, there's people. Thank you for responding in a timely manner. Happy people, thankful. Thank you, Mr. Franco. Thank you, Miss Estrada, Mr. Santana, Mr. Jason. Appreciate you guys. Dustin Hahn, appreciate you guys. But the reason I start with emotions was very simple. When you're having a good day, everything flows. Everything flows. Even if it's not positive, it flows. When you're stressed, tired, sleepy, mad, life gets a little bit more complicated. But you could understand that. When you got to study and you're stressed and tired, you got to understand to mitigate those situations where you're dealing with people, you're stressed and tired. It affects how you function in life. Your emotions are intimately connected with your success and they change. Being able to control your emotions in a timely manner is highly important, but you got to start by understanding them. So once you understand them, Like I'm sure Miss Estrada is emotionally hungry right now, so she's eating right now. She's like, I'm in class. I'm just gonna eat my top ramen, and keep it going. But that's what it is. We gotta understand how to work and eat at the same time. Chew gum and walk, and it's okay to eat. So don't get nervous. Don't get shy. It's all right. But when we go from there, we're gonna figure out the presentation now. Once you logged on, someone's just logging on, so we're having that. But at the end of the day, Jojo runs his class in different manners, and highly respectable of one of my favorite dudes. But we're gonna be talking taxes today. Taxes is not the most exciting thing available, but taxes is one of the most important things it's gonna be. If you want to be a successful human in the United States, you have to understand taxes. Once you understand taxes, everything gets a little bit easier. You don't have to know it all. Remember, people to go to college to be masters of finance, doctors of finance, and to understand the financial system. But you don't have to know it all, but you have to know the basics. And what we're going to provide you is the bare basics. The basics to understand certain terms, the basics to understand how you're going to process this. Because could everyone put in the chat their age? What's the age group right here? So put in the chat. So type it in, put it in, text it in, do what you want to do. 17, 16, 18, 18. All right, cool. And now put your grade. Are you a junior, senior, sophomore, freshman? Can I see some of that? Once you're done with your age, senior, sophomore. All right, is it a sophomore? Cool, cool. All right, so we have a good mixture. That's awesome. That is cool. Now, all right, that's good. All walks of life. The seniors are going to have to pay attention a little bit more because most of you guys work. And who has worked? Just put a reaction. You don't have to put in the chat. Put a thumbs up, or a smiley face that who has worked. Put any reaction. Who's had a job? All right, we got one person. We got two people. All right. So a lot of you guys have understand that when you have a job that pays you through a check, a W-2, a W-4, we got to understand that there's taxes. You make $600, you get maybe 490 out of it because they take federal taxes, state taxes, and that. But we will continue with the slide, but understand this is going to be a lot more details than we have. Last week, we explored different aspects. So last week, we explored how money grows, investing, saving, compound interest, learn about risk, return, inflation, fees, and taxes that we're going to go deeper into, just general taxes, and by studying different investments and diversifications. So just getting a little overview. But everything that you learn, savings, stocks, bonds, municipal bonds, crypto, you got to pay taxes. You know, every investment account I have, even if it's in the cryptocurrency or even if it's bonds and stuff, you got to pay taxes. And that's really important to understand that. So we'll go on to the next slide. All right. Since Melanie Moreno, could you please read the first bullet point? Once you unmute yourself, Melanie Moreno, could you please read the first bullet point? And if you have any tech issues, please let us know too. All right, not a problem. Thank you. And if I could have Thomas Franco, could he please read the first bullet point?
Yeah, understand the purpose of taxes and the role in funding public services.
All right, thank you, Mr. Franco. If I could have Julissa Aguirre, could you please read the second bullet point?
Identify main tax types: income, sales, property, payroll, and their contributions to government responsibilities.
All right, choose right or down, and that'll choose the next person.
Down.
All right, Andrea Marikin, could you please read the third bullet point?
Learn the basics of tax filing, including paycheck reading, deductions, and tax refund/payment calculations for responsible financial planning.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, all three of you, for participating. So we're just gonna break down. Look, this is gonna be, let's say taxes is not exciting when you're not making money. But when you start making money, you want to minimize that tax burden. So by minimizing that tax burden is understanding the basics of tax. This is something you're going to deal with. It's get ahead of it now. So we're just going to give you the bare basics, but we ideally want to give you the experiences that I've gone through taxes because I, have salaries, I have contracts and small businesses, and all three of them are completely different. Your salary takes the best. When you get a contract, they just give you the money for the contract and then you divide it up. And then when you have your own business, I have to learn how to pay business taxes, employee taxes, get my EIN lined up, get my business tax, the city taxes, permit. It's just another beast in itself. But we will go to the other slide. All right, what are taxes and why do we pay them? Like we know, taxes are money we pay to the government. That's simple as that. Taxes, like how you said, there's the normal taxes go to the government, federal government that pays for the army, that pays for the federal police, pays for Homeland Security, pays for lawyers, judges, and then we have the state taxes that pays for schools, highways, hospitals, police stations, state police, and then cities pay for city police, city streets, public transportation. These are all things that they pay for. And then everyone pays taxes. Even if I don't pay taxes on certain income I make, when I spend money, I pay taxes. When I buy a house, you pay taxes yearly for the rest of your life. When you buy a soda, there's taxes on the soda. And when you get paid, there's taxes. When you buy clothes, there's taxes. There's always like a $100 shirt is never truly $100. That $100 shirt pretty much it turns to $108, $110 shirt because of taxes. And different governments use taxes. Like how we said, we have the federal government, we have the state government, we have municipalities, and those would be like cities. And even within cities, it's divided into different cities. But at the end of the day, we want you to understand that paying taxes is what a responsible human being within the American society is. But at the same time, don't overpay taxes. There are ways to mitigate your tax debt. We're not talking about avoiding paying taxes, no, or evading, but we're just minimizing our tax burden. That's your goal to do and to learn. If not, the government will hold more money than you need to pay. So it's important to understand because this is written in laws, how we pay and who we should pay. If we don't pay attention, sometimes we pay more or pay unnecessarily. So it's important to understand. So we'll go on to the next slide. All right, just list 3 things you use or benefit from every day that are paid for by taxes. List three things. All right. And you're just putting it in the chat just to let you know. All right. Couple of you guys is. So we're just gonna put it in the chat real quick. So what's three things that you pay taxes? Yes, put them in your workbook also, but right now put them in the chat. So I'll give you another minute to kind of figure it out, but list three things or benefit every day that are paid to tax. And thank you, Dustin Hong. We have one person that, is on the ball today. All right. All right. All right. All right. School, police, roads. Cool. All right. And Daniel, I see your Steam, but they don't, they do pay for computers at school, so you are right there. And they do provide cell phone service for the indigent. You're right. Education, public transportation, food, schools, yep. Police, law enforcement, yep, 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 yep. All right, appreciate you guys. All right, cool, cool. Wait a couple more to go, and we're good. All right, cool. Exactly. Well, you guys go. Anything that the government, anything that you're using right now, public transportation, schools that you go to, if it's not private, is government funded, insurances, schools, food, education, public transportation, Medicare. There's a lot of different aspects that are paying for it. So appreciate you guys. So we will go jump to the next one. All right. Main type of taxes. All right. These are the most principal type of taxes, but there's dozens of different taxes, and if not hundreds of different taxes. So you got to understand that the main one you get once you get a job, you're going to have income tax. That'll be the main one that we're going to be dealing with, income tax. That takes it directly from your paycheck. Then every time you buy something, you have sales taxes added to everything you buy, groceries, food, clothes, computers, video games, there's taxes. Then once you get older, you'll have property taxes. Once you decide to purchase a house, you have property taxes paid by the people who own the homes or the land if you just buy land. And then payroll taxes. That's on top of the taxes. This comes out of your paycheck. Payroll taxes are Social Security and Medicare. Someone mentioned that in like what the taxes pay for. Medicare is one of the taxes, and California is a little higher tax state, so we pay even more because we have a larger social network and we provide more services in Medicare. We provide more services for the homeless. We provide more social services. And then once you start moving and grooving, once you guys get a car, gas is a tax, and then capital gains. And capital gains again is if you have a stock, it goes up, you sell it, you pay taxes on that. Everything you pay a little bit of taxes on. So we will go to the next page. All right, we're gonna take a pause and we're gonna watch a quick video right here before we answer that. But the question is pick one type of tax and explain what the video should explain to us, which is awesome. Pick one type of tax and explain what it's used for. Why do you think it's important? So we'll play the first video and then we'll answer the question. Thank you so much, Miss Chris.
Meet Ray. Ray is an incoming senior at State University who just finished up a summer internship at Corporate Co. Ray had a great experience and also made a lot of money. This is great news, but there is one problem. Ray has no idea how to pay his taxes, or even if the money he made requires him to do so. What should Ray do? Well, we've got him covered. Let's start with the basics. How does the US tax system actually work? Paying your taxes is a lot like filling up a line of progressively larger buckets. Each bucket corresponds to a specific tax rate, like 10%, and to a specific range of income, like 0 to 9,225. As your income grows, you fill up more and more of these buckets, called brackets, each one with its own tax rate. In addition to this, you'll also need to pay what's called a FICA tax, which is the flat 7.65% tax on any money you've earned. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, unfortunately, taxes in real life are a bit more complicated, so let's use a more detailed example. Let's say Ray made $30,000 last year. That's his gross income, literally the amount of money he made at Corporate Co. before taxes. This number can then be refined into what's called AGI by subtracting certain expenses called adjustments, also known as above-the-line deductions. For example, if Ray paid $1,000 in combined student loan interest, his AGI would move from $30,000 to $29,000. This number can be then lowered even further if Ray takes an exemption. An exemption is a flat $4,000 reduction in AGI available to each taxpayer for himself, his spouse, and each one of his dependents. For example, if Ray takes his exemption, his AGI, currently at $29,000, will be lowered to $25,000. Ray can then lower this number even further by taking a deduction. Unlike exemptions, deductions depend on the expenses of each taxpayer. So what does that even mean? Well, there are several types of expenses, like charitable donations or mortgage interest, that can be used to lower AGI. These are called itemized or below-the-line deductions. If Ray lacks these specific expenses, he can instead take a standard deduction, which is a flat $6,300 reduction in AGI as of 2015. However, there's a catch. If you choose to take the standard deduction, you can't also itemize your deductions, so be sure to pick whichever one is greater. So, let's assume Ray takes the standard deduction. That means his AGI, currently sitting at $25,000, will be lowered to $18,700. That number is Ray's taxable income, literally the amount of money eligible to be taxed by the IRS. From there, if Ray plugs that number into the 2015 tax brackets, he'll find he owes about $2,300 in federal income tax. Considering that Ray started with $30,000 in gross income, this seems like a pretty good deal. However, there's actually one more tool Ray can use to save money: tax credits. Unlike exemptions and deductions, which lower AGI, tax credits directly lower your actual tax payments. For example, let's say Ray is eligible for a $1,000 tax credit. This credit can then be used to offset his $2,300 tax bill, leaving him owing about $1,300 in income tax, plus the money for the FICA tax, which will have already been automatically taken out of his paycheck by his employer. So that's the end of taxes, right? Well, not quite. Ray may also have to supplement his federal taxes with state income taxes. Thankfully, however, these taxes are calculated in a very similar manner to federal taxes and are almost always lower. Hopefully you and Ray now better understand how taxes work. Be sure to check out our next video, where we'll teach you whether or not you need to file a tax return, and be sure to check out our website.
All right. So that broke it down to a very simple manner. So if you guys could please answer this. I know some of you guys are on your cell phone, so you guys zoom in. But pick one type of tax and explain what it's used for. Why do you think it's important? Again, pick one type of tax and explain what it's used for. Why do you think it's important? So get a couple minutes to fill that out. And I know you guys are texting, and we'll go from there. right. I hope you guys understand. Maybe it's me, but you got to answer these questions in the chat. I know you guys are doing it in the workbook, copy paste it over. So we'll give you another minute, but these questions are to be answered in the chat. I do apologize if I didn't, all right, cool. Copy paste it. Good job. All right, cool, cool, cool. You can do both of them. But when I ask you questions, please do it in the chat. You could do it in the workbook also, but just make sure to transfer it in the chat for attendance reasons. And probably Bojo does it a little different, so I do apologize for that. But I want your responses in the chat also. So I need about 10 more. All right, thank you, Ms. Jalissa. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Destiny. Taking care of business. Thank you, Dustin Hahn, always on it. Thank you, Jason Vaquerano. Thank you, Daniel Santana on it. Let's see. Still missing a couple other people. Know some of you guys are on your phone, so try to answer that in a timely manner. Appreciate you guys. All right, we're almost there. Got a couple more people and we're almost there. All right, appreciate you guys. So we will be going on to that. Thank you for putting it back and thank you for answering the guys' question in a productive manner. But we will go on. So we'll go on to the next section. All right. So this is it. Well, you guys are kind of grasping the understanding of taxes. We get taxed on everything. We get taxed on everything. But what would you need to know about taxes? The first principal thing you need to understand about taxes is when it's due. The taxes are due April 15th. That's a very important date. April 15th is a date that you need to do it. You need to keep it. You need to do it April 15th. That's very important. So, but when you're filing a tax return, you got federal and state. You do both of them. Why do you do both of them? Because they're both going to refund you money. We live in California. We live in a high tax state. They charge tax state, and we always going to pay federal one. But filing a tax return means telling the government how much you earned and how much tax you already paid. You get a W-2 at the end of the year that has all the money you've earned all year, and breaks down exactly how much has been paid in a lot of ways. You might get money back or refunded if you paid too much. You might owe money. Like most of the time, I owe money and I decide to pay more every check or everything because I usually owe money. For the business expense contracts, I owe money. And IRS is easier than it sounds. I know a lot of you guys, this is a lot of new things that for you to consider, but you got to consider that this is something you're going to deal with. So start paying attention now. Taxes are very important. Taxes are the bread and butter of the United States. You want to have a successful life. You want to live, you know, you want to live the life of your dreams. You got to understand taxes. Don't listen to the social media fake gurus. Don't listen to what's online, how to save, how not to pay, how to, be a billionaire because everyone's selling salt and mirrors. Taxes are very simple. You could go online and pay your taxes for free. If you just have a job, you donate some stuff to Goodwill, to stuff and that lowers your tax burden. So it's like you're gonna be overall, taxes is not hard. It's just new. When something's new to you, obviously it's like, wow, wow, what's going on? But it just gets easier. I know sometimes I'm not giving the best explanation because tax is something that you have to live. and understand. But at the same time, it's, something that you can conquer. Obviously, again, I'm going to say there's people who dedicate their careers to understanding the tax system, the financial system, but it's in constant change. And now with our new government policies, it's changing. Every 4 years, every year, it can change. Not drastically, but there's little change that either could benefit you highly and keep you well off, or benefit you uh, negatively, you know? But they're needed. Taxes are always fluctuating. Understand how they're fluctuating, understand how they keep going, understand how they grow, understand why you have to pay, who you have to pay. So these are all things that you got to consider. So that is why. And I would like to ask this question. If the alumni Emma Ramos have just wondering, could you mute yourself, and do you have a job right now?
Just this internship.
Oh, okay, okay. And do they pay you as a stipend, or do they pay you as a salary?
Stipend.
Ah, okay, cool. No, that's awesome. That actually works out because a stipend is 100% yours. If you work, I'm assuming Miss Emma Ramos works, say 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, and she puts it in. I've worked and the VAs keep track, and then she gets a stipend. Stipend is 100% hers. Theoretically, if she keeps under the stipend because it's under $11,000, she doesn't have to pay taxes on it. But say if that stipend were to go over 10, 15, 20,000, it turns into a contract and you sign a 1099, then that turns into something that you have to pay taxes on. So just understanding this, taxes is not attractive. It's not cool. It's not fun until you need it. That's when it becomes cool. That's when you're seeing how you're saving money, how you're growing money, how your money's investing back in the community. It's very important to consider these things. So we'll go to the next slide. All right. And this is a basic pay slip or pay stub. You know, how did you actually get to keep how much do you actually get to keep after taxes? This is actually a little bit of math. So put it in the chat. Don't put it in the workbook. Please put it in the chat. How much money you gonna keep on that. So hopefully you guys know basic math, arithmetic, but please put it in the chat, the answers to this. So do the mathematics. And even the sophomore, this is basic. This is sixth grade math. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So everyone's making the assumption that you're at $406.75. So the answer should auto-populate when you click next. Oh, so you're right. Total deductions is 93.25, and that. Now, what's the second? You guys did the math on it. What percentage of your total pay was withheld from taxes? Now you got to do a little bit of arithmetic again. So $93.25 was withheld. What's the percentage of that was withheld? Let's see if you guys could do some basic algebra. You guys should be. You're part of this program. This is chump change. So you guys should be giving me a number. So put the number, do the math on in your mind or in your head on your calculator, on a piece of paper and a pencil. So what's the percentage? What percentage of that? All right, we got 1865. Hopefully he's right because You guys all have to come with your own numbers, but it's easy to copy paste if everyone. So Jason, good. All right, 18.65. So I'm waiting for at least the other half of the class to copy paste that answer at least to put it. All right, someone rounded it up at 19. All right. All right. So as we go forward, the answer will be, yep, you guys are right. Even the person who rounded it up, usually they round up. So it's that. Good stuff for Thomas. That's the correct way to answer. All right. So out of your $500 earnings in this example, you're looking at 18%, a little 19%, a little under 20%. So you could eyeball it, and out of every 500 bucks, I'm getting 400 bucks. That's gonna be normal. If you make more, you pay more. But that you guys just did basic accounting, very basic budgeting, very basic stuff like that. So that's good. You guys did it and you guys ran with it. So we'll go to the next slide. All right. We'll watch one more video before we answer this question. And we'll walk it in right now. We're going to watch another video that's going to be going into it. But remember, we're just breaking down the same things. So we're going to just, the next video that we see is going to be, I explain the tax system in under 10 minutes. This girl breaks it down real simple and tries to keep it as possible, but she breaks it down in great detail and more detail than me. So I want you guys to hear multiple perspectives. It's going to be the next video is going to be I explained the tax system in under 10 minutes. Thank you so much, Chris. You're awesome. All right.
Pablo, I think you're muted.
Good shit. Sorry. So either way, she broke it down farther than I expected, and she broke it down well. She really broke it down the itemized this, and it's good to consider that. They have all these videos on the website. But now with that good in-depth explanation, why is it important to understand how your paycheck is calculated? And how can this help you plan your finances? So answer that in the chat or in the workbook, but copy it over. So why is it important to understand how your paycheck is calculated and how can this knowledge help you plan your finances? Put that in the chat. Thank you, Miss Caroline. All right, cool. Thank you guys. And that's a good understanding. Yeah, you guys are right, so you understand where your money goes, understand it helps you plan your finance, how to budget, how to spend, how not to spend. Trust me, this is things that you guys are 16 to 18 years old that if you start getting under wraps, like you're gonna be super winning. I know people who are 30, 35, 45, and they're like making a killing and they're still broke. they're still broke because they don't know how to handle their finances. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to control their taxes or control their spending. So it's important to understand these things because they really truly do benefit you in almost every way. So it's very important for that, you know? So I do appreciate you guys showing up and doing everything needed. But the online workbook question is we finished it, so we'll be going to the last slide. All right, next class, problem solving. And we'll watch one more video. It's a short video. It's talking about the government and the taxes. It's an animated video. It's the one that Chris was about to show, but it's going to be this one. So appreciate you guys. So we'll jump to the next PowerPoint presentation once Chris decides she wants to do it. Let's go. All right, most of you guys finished it. Here's a couple minutes more because I know you guys that. So just take 2 minutes to get your homework done. And if you have any questions, these are all 2 minutes to ask me, Chris, Will, or Basha for anything. All right. So we will head to the next one. Announcements. All right. A lot of you guys might be already going to the week this weekend to the Junior Achievement Park. I've been there. It's pretty cool because it has the ability to simulate real financial responsibility as an adult. So it's like you get hands-on experience if you're having kids, having this, paying bills. So you guys should really consider it. And if you didn't sign up for this week, they're having one next week. And you have till tomorrow, 5 p.m., I'm assuming, to turn it in and make sure you're there. Ignite Spirits, if you guys did that, cool. Turn in the post survey so you guys get credit. You guys get a point. Remember, for the field trips, you get paid. You get to meet cool people. You get to network. But you have to go. Everything here. This is an internship. This is a form that, but you get paid. Student leader form. So everyone wants to be a student leader of a class and stuff. You guys will be figuring out if you guys want to take that role, a little bit of responsibility and dive forward. First Gen U Career Institute. This is for the one alumni, Emma Ramos. If you're interested in that, first generation, if that falls, you fall into that category. Students are exploring beer. This is pretty cool. Take advantage of it. It is open. Free Mustang experience. I'm out of San Diego, but this is in Los Angeles. I signed up for it. It's free. Like, why not? And is I'm a big fan of cars and classic cars, and Mustang has a good history and it's real in-depth 4D, 3D, whatever about that. And it's free. If you want to sign up, take your family out on that, why not? And the college match program, don't know much about it, but Chris will fill in all the gaps that I'm not doing well in.
Thank you so much, Pablo. So yes, for the college match program, if you're currently participating in one, kindly fill out the form because we're getting a demographic on whoever from YC is currently participating on it. And then if you have any, or if you want to be updated with any announcements or information about youth champions, feel free to visit our student guide website. It is available 24/7, so you can visit it anytime. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to fill out our help form, and our team addresses concerns Monday to Friday only. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I also wanted to thank Pablo for an amazing session and for stepping in. And thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to drop your reactions.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy your afternoon.